All right, guys. So I do want to join in on this sort of Sarah Nakamura takes about the television show for just a moment and give my 2 cents. And I think, if I'm being completely honest, most of the Black Tower podcasts take on this. And that is that overwhelmingly, I think that we are pro Sarah Nakamura. I think that she is a very good addition to the room in the fact that her knowledge about the books, as far as detail orientation and general uh, themes that exist, are very, very helpful. Now, that is also tempered by the fact that Rafe is also a book fan. So he also has a certain amount of knowledge about the things that they're doing. Now, I do also want to throw out there, we are not actually, we make the joke sometimes, and it's been made about us, that we are, Amazon shills. We're not. This is a show that we've been extremely excited about for, at least as long as the podcast has been on, which has been a number of years now, if not, much longer for some of us. And we are excited that the show it exists. We are excited that it is seemingly, not unwell received, especially by people who have not read the books, as well as by, many people who are. That being said, the television show is not perfect. And it's not even perfect when you look at the other things that I'm about to go into. But we definitely overall think that what we are getting is a good thing. It is a good experience, is good overall. Now, I did see a couple of posts about this as far as why people are annoyed with Sarah Nakamura, why people are annoyed with Rafe Judkins, and why people are annoyed at the television show in general. And I want to say, you're not unjustified if that is your opinion. But the thing that I want to say is, take a step back. Take a step back and look at all of the facets of this. Because one of the things I keep hearing is, Sarah Nakamura doesn't know the books better than me. People are giving her so much credit for just knowing the books, and I don't think that she knows the books better than somebody who's on, their third to fifth reread. Also, she must care about different things than I do in the books. She must be, not fighting hard enough, or they're pushing back at her, or whatever. And I just want to stop for a second and go through a couple of those things. The first one is she knows the books better than I do. She does know the books better than somebody who's read them once. She does. Details, way better. She has proven that on multiple occasions. And overall themes, I think she grasps more of them because she has read it a number of times and has really looked at it extremely, detail and theming and, all of the different storylines and everything focused. Now, again, to somebody who's read it 3 to 5 times, to some of us who have read it, 10 times, to the people out there who have read it 20 times, no one's claiming that she actually knows the books better than you. But she does know the books well enough to sort of say that about her, as in comparison to a certain subset of the population who is annoyed at her because the show isn't what they read on the page. And that gets into the second part of this, the theming. Now, I can absolutely respect and appreciate that the idea of she doesn't care about the same things I do. Rafe doesn't care about the same things I do. I think that these themes were really important and they didn't make it into the show, and I think that these themes are really unimportant and they did. Again, I want to tell you very much so that your opinions on the themes that are important are not invalid. They are absolutely valid, and you should absolutely have them and follow them and be somewhat vocal about the fact that you think they are important. That being said, I think that you're not really grasping the entire scope of this, because Rafe and Sarah aren't even just putting together a TV show that has their most important themes. Amazon and every other studio who's ever done a television show or a movie or anything like that doesn't just focus on what the most important themes are to the people who are creating it. I mean, again, let me be very clear. Showrunners, directors, script writers, all of these people do have a lot of say in the themes that make it onto the screen. And we've had countless stories and interviews about directors who have put things into movies or focused on things in scripts that end up making it into the final edit that is personal. That's true. But most studios actually do spend a lot of time, effort, and money on figuring out what is going to sell the series as well. Now, I'm not saying that Rafe and Sarah went, oh, well, these are the, themes that are important, but these are what are actually going to sell to the audience, so these are the only things that matter. That's not what I'm saying. But they do have a responsibility to get this show furthered, to get it forwarded, to make money, to get audience, to get views. And so them putting in things that they think is going to be exciting to non-readers who they're excited about bringing into the series, things that are going to make good television, which is not always the same things as what makes a good book. In fact, somewhat regularly aren't. And their focus on going ahead and doing things like that, in some ways even trumps their own personal feelings on what makes it into the story. And so I wouldn't look at this as a personal slight in any way, shape, or form on yourself if you think that other themes were important, or Sarah, or Rafe, because they absolutely may have gone ahead and said, you know what, I really love X, but you know what's going to get this show watched by more people? Y. So we do need to go ahead and focus more on Y than X, because that is one of our overall goals. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't agree with every choice that was made. And I don't even agree with all of the choices that were made from a television show standpoint. I also think that, if you personally want to go out and make sure to get a very good sample size of the people that Amazon was hoping to go ahead and watch the show and discover that they agree with what you think is the most important themings, great. You've now done the experiment, and you can go to Amazon and say, hey, in the future, can you focus more on this? And you'll have the receipts to be able to say yay or nay as far as whether they should do that or not. But definitely personal feelings that are sort of in you. As I said, they're totally valid and they're totally great. And you should absolutely focus on those things still. You should absolutely give them a lot of credence. But throwing someone under the bus because they disagree with the themes that you like, and with all of the other variables that they had to think of, throwing them under the bus for an opinion that you don't share is really the wrong way to handle this. And I know that that's a little, diminishing on people, and I'm not trying to be that, but it's hard to take arguments like this seriously when it's me. Instead of being able to look at the whole situation. There are scenes that I didn't like in the show. There are scenes that Josh didn't like in the show. There are scenes that Andrew didn't like in the show. And I am almost guaranteed that there are scenes that Sarah and Rafe look at and go, that absolutely could have been done better or shouldn't have been included, or we should have focused on something else. Now being able to look at the entire series, being able to look at the reception, being able to have all of this information. That doesn't mean that the show overall is necessarily bad. If you don't like it, that's fine. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the show is bad. It also doesn't necessarily mean that the show is an inaccurate representation. It also doesn't mean that the show is a travesty. It simply means that the themes that were focused on were not the ones that you wanted. And it means that it could have been better put together by Rafe and Sarah in some aspects. And that might not even be true. Rafe and Sarah might actually think it's, nearly a perfect product because it did what it, was looking to do or whatever. I don't speak for them, and I'm not going to. But again, this is a whole experience. This isn't just about connecting with one person on a personal level. This isn't just about going ahead and connecting with an audience for an X theme. This is connecting with as many people as possible for many different reasons, focusing on many different themes, and that is inevitably going to leave some people behind. Now, if that is you, I truly am sorry that you got left behind. I'm not trying to diminish you. I'm not trying to dismiss you. It is unfortunate that you were left behind. You may not have been the person that they were aiming for, and that is also okay. It is okay that you're frustrated, but it's also okay that you weren't the target. In which case, I'm sorry. You don't necessarily need to watch this show anymore if it's not for you, and that's okay. I do hope that you give it another shot because, again, we have no idea what's going to happen in season 2 as far as what themes they're going to focus on. The story does change many different times in the book series and will almost guaranteed change a number of times in the show as well. And I encourage you to go ahead and take another shot. And again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But please, I am begging book fans, show fans, production fans, whatever you may be. Something missing in the show because that you really wanted, and a theme that didn't get focused on that you really wanted, does not mean that Rafe or Sarah screwed you. It does not mean that they took other things out of the show and that they were more right or more wrong or more good or more bad or anything. The amount of responsibilities that they had are so high. And I especially, though not limited to the fact that I understand those pressures because I've had them on me in this particular arena, not just in general. It's a lot. And I think that they did a great job trying to juggle all of the different things that they needed to juggle. Is it a perfect project or a perfect product? I don't think so. I think that there are things that could have been done better from an almost objective standpoint, as well as, on a personal level. I definitely think that there are themes that I would have liked to see more and other things I would have liked to see less. But that doesn't mean I'm not with Sarah. That doesn't mean I'm not with Rafe. That doesn't mean that I'm not with the production crew on this. They put together, I think, what they set out to put together. And I think it was a product that they should be very proud of and that I'm actually quite proud of as well. So the Black Tower stands united with Sarah Nakamura and Rafe Judkins. And I'm not saying we always will, because there are definitely things that you could do to lose us, but you definitely haven't done them yet. So please keep up what you're doing, and we're definitely with you. Thanks.